How much do you think you have evolved as a filmmaker since the future at the Sundance Film Festival?
Right. How much have I grown?
Evolve as a filmmaker? And what? Yeah.
Right. Well, it's funny because I work in different mediums. The last, between the future and this movie, I wrote a novel, and that novel gave me some new muscles. Like, I really got deeper into what it's like to have real twists and turns and reveals in the narrative structure. And I feel like that came in handy with KAJILLIONAIRE. Like, I wasn't done with that. I wanted to do it in this form now that I knew how.
KAJILLIONAIRE is I think it's one of the most original films I've seen in the last few years. Would you say it's a tale about the need to be loved?
Yeah, yeah, and sort of coming to know who you are so that you even can be loved. Yeah.
Why did you decide to explore these themes through a family of outcasts who live on the edge of what we consider normality, quote unquote?
Right. I mean, I've been carrying a lot of old feelings about families and parenting and birth for a long time in my unconscious, somewhere in there. And I don't think I would have willingly approached that as a story, but this heist thing kind of came to me, and I just followed it along quite happily, making myself laugh. And by the time I got to the end of the first draft, I realized I had gone into this other territory along the way, which I guess is perhaps how the viewer experiences it as well. Like, but that was my ride, sort of following the unconscious from funny to something else.
So Miranda, within the story, it seems that time is not important. The concept of time, they just move around different situations.
Mm-hmm.
And could you explain a little the timeless aspects of the story?
Well, I mean, there's certain times that are very important to them. Like, they have synchronized watches to the time when they need to like catch this cascade of bubbles every day, a couple times a day. But I guess the other versions of time, those are like institutional creations to them, probably, as they are in a way. They regulate all of us. So it sort of makes sense that they have regulated themselves, synchronized themselves to a structure of their own creation,
What do you think of the parents? They're so unique.
Well, I mean, I don't know. There's so much humor there. Like, I could watch Richard Jenkins being that character forever, and I did shoot a lot more than I used. But there's something sort of so tricky about an outsider who ultimately is very rigid and controlling. And that's resonant to me. And I see it a lot around me, in the world.